Welcome back to Karlstad, Sweden. The week started off a bit gloomy, but the weather has really picked up the last few days, and so has the curling in Löfbergs Arena, as 42 teams have become 8. Teams have played, some have stayed, and some didn't get what they prayed. On the broadcast this evening, we have Finland and Russia. My name is Sander Elvåg, and I'm joined by our lovely expert, Sara Karlsson.
Thank you, Sander.
Finland undefeated, and Russia just with that one loss. We'll take a look at the first knockout stage, where we saw Canada beat New Zealand, Estonia beat Norway, USA won over Austria, and Russia beat Slovakia. In the second session, we saw Finland pick up a win against Ireland. It was China to dominate Denmark. Scotland pick up a win in a grueling and intense game against Hungary, while England was able to defeat Korea. This is how it looks now. The quarterfinals we have out there: Estonia, China, Scotland, Canada, England, USA, and of course our game, Finland, Russia. And it's pretty much straight playoffs. After this, the winner goes to the semis, and so on. Finland's lineup today: we have Tomi Rantamäki and Uno Kausta. No team coach for Finland, but the experience of Tomi should be enough.
And the lineup for Russia: Alexander Krushelnitsky and Anastasia Bryzgalova, and their team coach, Vasily Gudin. The rules of play: 2 players, 1 male, 1 female, 6 stones, and 1 is pre-placed in every end. 8 ends and 22 minutes of thinking time per team. The players can throw either stones 1 and 5 or 2, 3, and 4. They are allowed to switch positions in between the ends. Both players are allowed to sweep. Holding the broom is now optional. You can choose to have a sweeper by your side from the start instead. No takeouts allowed until the 4th stone of each end, so when you see 5 stones in play, that's when you're allowed to hit. And 1 power play option per team per game. Teams can use this only when they have a hammer.
Well, those are the rules, and those are the stone colors for our game. Finland will be throwing the red stones. Russia will throw the yellow. It is Finland with last stone advantage, so Russia already underway here, throwing the first stone. As this will just sneak past the guard and enter the forefoot, tap that red stone up just a wee bit. That's Alexander Krushelnitsky with that first in-turn draw. And now Uno Kausta will follow on the in-turn.
Suunta on hyvä. Voima vaan. Jap! Jap!
Nice little tap by Uno Kausta. Will get shot stone. And so far, it's pretty much the same call.
Yeah, team's just going to keep lining them up here until someone will decide to either guard it or make a play at it with a little more weight. Unless, of course, we see a mistake, someone maybe not curling in enough or too much.
Anastasia Bryzgalova for Team Russia. Well, hoping to probably just lock the freeze on here, but not sweeping, so it might just be a little bit pacey. Will slip too far. Just take that red stone and end up in the back 4.
Yeah, and if you're watching this, you might think that Finland could just put another one besides their own red here, Tomi Rantamäki's first, and sit 2, but that would still leave Russia with a freeze to sit on top, even if they're not shot stone already. So coming down to sit on top of the shot stone instead,
Nousu.
trying to stay a little more in control of the front top of the forefoot.
13. Vähän lujemmin, joo.
Хочешь наверняка колодки, чтобы убрать камень?
But
Да?
that one not really curling enough either, maybe a little too heavy, so Russia gonna play the hack weight and try and roll in. Make that one red seem a little lonely.
Да, легко. Веса больше, да?
Да.
Нет, ничего пока. Валить, валить. Нет, нормальный свип. Ждем.
Want to come
Валить.
to the
Подвали
inside
чуть-чуть.
of this red and
Валить.
get a
Да,
little
да,
roll.
Да, 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 ролл, ролл.
Well, not quite able to do so, and that yellow stone will be quite accessible for Finland, as they will try pretty much the same shot here. Just get to the inside of that yellow and roll to the center lane. That is Tommy Huntamäki's job.
Suora. Ei. Suora.
And I think that little rub actually helped them. Because I do think they touched the guard, but only very, very little.
I barely saw it, but I'm sure it had to. A cheeky look from Tommy there, knowing he's probably a bit lucky, a little fortunate with the result. Sometimes you just need a little bit of luck to win. Although one stone out of how many hundreds have they played this week? Well, I guess
I'm
they
not
haven't
going to
played.
get into that kind of math, Sander. It'll get embarrassing very, very quick.
Well, I guess they haven't played that many stones. There's only been the 6 games in the group stage.
Внимание.
We have certainly watched a lot of stones.
Да, и жестко держать.
And even with the little roll of the guard for Tommy Huntamäki,
Поднимаем
it
счет.
rolled maybe a bit too far.
Валить, валить.
See if Anastasia Bryskalova can come all the way down.
That's pretty good. Kind of makes a little pocket with the reds, but that Yellowstone again not sitting on top, so a chance again for Finland to catch the inside of that Yellowstone and move it out the back of the forefoot and roll the shooter on the top of the four.
Näkyykö se kokonaan? Joo, melkein. Hyvä.
So might have a little more ice this time. But certainly important not to be too wide either. Want to find the inside. Nose might also be okay, but can't really throw this wide.
Tilaa on paljon enemmän kuin äsken. Nousu, nousu, nousu. Paljon nousu.
Now sweeping this to curl.
Well, doesn't curl enough, and I wonder, have they just left a pocket for Russia to come into?
It looks like it. Just the same draw as the first shot, basically come all the way down. I guess they could also hit and roll if they're scared of leaving that many reds, but that might leave a double for Finland. So just gonna draw into the pocket. He made this with his first.
Внимательно. Вес сколько? Вали, валить. Валить, Настя. Срочно
Well,
валить.
perfect freeze
Внимание,
here might
нормальный
set
свип.
Russia up for a steal here in the first
поднять.
end.
Да! Да! Свип! Свип!
As this one now maybe just diving towards the center line. We'll end up tapping that redstone up. And what is Finland left with?
Depends a little on how much they can see, because they can move both, but if they want a multiple score, they might want to play a little wait. And I think they're just going to follow on the intern side, come and tap the shot stone back. But will that be enough to sit shots? I guess we'll find out.
Takapunainen voima. Mä luulisin, että punaisen valkoisen rajalta.
Last stone of the first end here between Finland and Russia. It's Karlstad to make a little nose tap on the 1 foot to maybe score one or just cut Russia down to a single. Will come down onto the 1 foot, but yeah, that's not going to be enough to score, I think. As Tommi Rantamäki just performing a crude measure, but good enough for him. Not wanting the umpires to come out and check that thoroughly. It was quite clear. One for Russia after one end of play.
One yellow, I think so. I don't know.
Yeah, one yellow.
Нормально же все, чего начинаешь-то? Давай, так же. Только...
Sitten voima vähän hiipui siinä, kun mä...
Чуть-чуть все. Нам по труда.
Ei siis todennäköisesti ollut. Ainakin näytti, ettei ton lähempää voinut sitä meidän punaista tulla. Niin. Sääs priemiä.
Se ei ollut.
Joo.
Ei tarvitse miettiä enää.
Настя, это много.
Валить.
Может, конечно,
The
подсядет
second
сейчас.
end underway here.
Хороший.
It's the quarterfinals of the World Mixed Doubles Curling Championship.
Sweep. Sweep.
Russia steals one in the first end. Karlstad having no shot to score. Still made a good one to just give up one. As Krushelnitsky will freeze that back red.
Miltä tuntuu?
Häh?
Miltä tuntuu?
Hyvältä. Toivo vaan.
Vedä pari. Ei tarvi, ei tarvi.
Ei. Sä saat vetää. Kova. Kova jo.
Hyvä.
And some great weight from Karlstad. She was
14-1.
calling on Tommi to sweep it for line, but it does overcurl slightly.
I see there's a couple of points up on the boards elsewhere in the Löfbergs Arena. Sarah?
Of course, USA scored one in the first end. They're playing England. Scotland scored one against Canada in the first end, and Estonia also scored one playing China in the first end.
Yeah, so no big surprising scores yet. We're expecting to see fairly even games.
Yeah, of course, now in the quarterfinal stages, all teams very good, been very solid performers all week.
But it doesn't take much in mixed doubles curling to give up a big end. Just a couple of half shots and you might be in big trouble. So I'm not going to put my money on not seeing a score more than 3 in this draw. It might just happen to any team.
Yeah, definitely. If you have one off shot
Hyvä.
that's followed by a really
Hyvä
good one,
huuto oli.
that could be it. That could be the end
Тебя можешь, слышишь?
of that end, of course.
Отсюда тэп.
Bryskalova, a
Линия шире
World
пока.
Junior Curling
Yes,
Championship
внимательно,
bronze
легко.
medalist
В лоб
from
надо попадать.
Flems,
Свип,
Switzerland,
свип,
playing
свип и до конца,
lead
свип.
for Alina Kovalyeva.
Да.
That was her only championship at the international level before this week. And she's done quite well.
Yeah, both of these Russian players, 23 years old, and they've not been that experienced internationally at the world stage, and they've done a really, really great job. Only lost that one game, the very first one they played against Scotland.
Sen jälkeen ne
Tiedätkö,
vetää
ne laittaa
tällä.
tähän näin.
No. Jos tätä yhtään sais tonne, mutta ei se sämmää tohon ja toi menee tonne. Vedetään
Siihen etusinisen.
siihen.
Onko Harja? Huuda mulle, jos tarvii tulla. Tilaan.
Voima on!
Onks kova?
Voi olla!
Kato suuntaan.
Jarrua! Nosto! Nosto! Kovaa! Kovaa! Paino! 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 Paino!
Wow, really sneaks past the top yellow there. And Finland lying 3 here with last stone advantage. 2 more yellows to come, and of course 2 more reds to come as well.
A really great job by Oona Karlstad coming up and helping that the curl and get it all the way in, because I do think it was a little more weight than they had planned. And Anastasia Bryskalova really needs to make a perfect draw, because as you said, Sander, it's Finland lying 3.
Да, линия.
Вес есть.
Линия будет плохо, Настя. Легко. Свип. 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 Да, держать. 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 Да.
Oh, that was close, but what a great draw.
A couple of sneaky shots back to back here. Just able to get that past the top yellow. Oof. If you thought Tommi Rantamäki's draw was tight to that Yellowstone, well, Bryskalova came even closer.
Täällä.
Se on varmaan sama saa olla, niin vedetään loppuun tarvittaessa.
And I think Tommi Rantamäki is going to try and tap this back again. Not throwing too much weight, just a heavy draw like he did with his previous. Push it back. I don't think they mind jamming it on the red. Just think they will still be sitting two
Mitä?
if they do so.
Wow!
Tuo Harja. Ei tarvi, kato suunta vaan. Kato suunta vaan. Ei kun nosto, vedä nostoa. Nostoa! Kovaa!
Well, taps it to the back of the four. Is there enough room for Russia to make a little hit and roll in there?
I think so. We know how close they can come to that yellow.
Or is it touching the yellow one first? Coming off that red stone on the top right corner of the forfeit? Depends on how thick he's looking to catch this. He's calling it board weight.
Yeah, so that would mean they will be trying to catch it quite thin to get a good roll.
And the last one for Russia underway.
Just gonna try and nestle in between all of these red stones.
Oh, coming a little tight to the guard. Will pass it just about. Tick, 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 and end up back four. And I believe that's not going to be good enough. It looks like Finland has a shot for three here, as that just curled a bit too much and caught that red stone hole too thin, and pretty much touched everything on its way before settling down back four.
Можно было +1 сделать и все.
Well, didn't have a shot to score in the first end on Karlstad. This time she has a shot to score three. It's so important to take advantage of these chances. So easy to overthrow this shot as well.
Yep.
Just looking for a tiny tap here on the nose of that back yellow. See if it's curling enough to sit right on top. I think so. It's a score of three for Finland. A huge end, as they will now lead Russia by 2 after having given up a steal in the first end. 3 shots to 1 for the Finns after 2 ends of play. Well, that was a big shot for Una Karlstad to pick up 3 for Finland.
Vähän tiukka.
Now having to just settle down a wee bit after maybe some internal jubilation. And she's not been able to do that and will actually crash on the guard. And that's the kind of shot that will give your opponent a chance to score big on you right back.
Yeah, the really important thing for Russia now is not to come deep. Certainly top 8 foot is fine, but don't let Finland play the perfect freeze. That would be the best way to take advantage of this mistake.
Свои разводи.
Well, was sweeping this to get it past the guard, but what often happens when you have to sweep it for line is you add the weight as well, and it will come way deep. And already failing to take advantage of Unikausta's mistake, I think.
Vähän pois.
Yeah, I guess the good thing for Russia is that they actually had so much weight that they've tapped the yellow ones apart. Otherwise, when you maybe go in for the freeze there, you just end up with leaving a huge pocket.
Tarvii nousta. Tarvii nousta
Not
paljon.
an easy draw for Tomi Rantamäki. It's a bit of a different line with that center line guard moved.
Kova! Kova! Kova!
Coming through the hole here. Just kind of hanging on the corner. Again, he will tick off a guard, but this time just a bit too much, although not leaving it in the worst of spots. Russia might have the inside of it, though.
Если что, гард
As I see there's a
бэклайн.
few more points up on the board for the 3 other quarterfinals.
And I can tell you what they are. USA stole 3 in the second end against England, so they are up 5 points to none. It's 1 each between Scotland and Canada. And China scored 2 back on Estonia, leading that game 2-1.
So pretty tight so far, except USA with their final lead over England. Still 6 ends to go there, though. We've seen a lot of wacky scores throughout the week.
We sure have.
Krushelnitsky looking for the inside roll off this red stone, has done well.
That's also a really, really nice shot. They couldn't see all of it. It's come just so close to the guard. I actually think she came so close that there's now a double. Just need to be careful not to jam the back yellow onto the red.
Still needing to come fairly close to the guard here to make the double. A little bit high for line, and they're just jamming on the yellow.
Suora! Suora! Kova! 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 Kova!
This one catching some curl, just passing the guard, actually over curling. Doesn't get the other double either, but leaves the shooter just nibbling the top of the floor. Might be a
Бэклайн попробовать вот так сделать.
little bit awkward for Russia to remove.
Если что, гард. Настя, вот так где-то.
Quite lucky to get that roll, actually. Complicate things for Russia just a bit.
Веса надо будет чуть поменьше, чем сейчас было.
Well, it's always nice to have a plan B.
Это
Свип!
фриз.
Свип, Линия, свип! Да-да-да-да-да-да-да-да!
Веса много!
О, нет! Валить!
Now switching it up, trying to make it the curl. How much are they going to catch? And not a whole lot. Don't think they managed to get that red one quite out in the open.
Koska toi on niillä aika hankala poistettava. En mä tiedä. Mitä mieltä on?
No lähinnä, että kumpaan heittoon sulla on parempi fiilis. Otetaan pois.
Otetaan pois nää.
Tuuks sä
Joku.
9?
8.
8?
Joo.
So Finland being a little cautious here. They're up 2 points. I'd like to stay in the lead, or at least
Ehkä olla vähän isompi.
not leaving Russia more than a score for 2. I think they're going to double out the back yellows.
Ei! Nousu! 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 Kova!
will do just enough to get those yellows flying.
Сюда или сюда? Под него прям?
Да.
As Finland still have that red stone nibbling the forfeit, so not all the room to score in the world for Team Russia.
It's not a huge port to draw through either. We'll need to come kind of close to the left red guard if they want to come by the red one in the rings.
Добавляй, Настя. 4:11.
Внимательно. У меня 9 конец пришел.
Вес супер.
Вес линии нет, пока нет. Другой.
Вес супер.
Валить. Только вес. Валить, валить.
Куда сильно идет? Валить.
They have a great line, and
Хорош.
that's a really good job.
Beautiful draw.
Toinen vaihtoehto on tulla noja tuohon.
Дабл остался.
Kato miten näkyy.
So this is the final shot of the third end for Finland. Oona
Nyt
Karlstad
näkyy
just
koko harja.
looking in the hack to see how much she can see of their own red.
Kumpaa haluut?
Olisiko se noja?
Käy.
And maybe thinking it's
Kun
not really
aloita
worth
sen
it.
rajalta.
Joo.
They're going to try and follow with the in-turn draw as well. Just play the shot that's
Tässä suoraan.
easier to make.
Kato, suunta.
Kyllä on. Voimaa ei oo. Pidä suoraan vaan. Voit? Hei, mun pitää vaihtaa.
Hei, hei. Jop, jop, jop!
Well, I have to say they overswept that one. And they haven't been able to tap that back yellow far enough to sit for third shot rather. And it does look like Russia will have a nose hit to score 3 right back. It's just a missed sweeping call there. No one really watching the line thoroughly with both on the sweep.
Yeah, that is the difficult thing when both players are up with the brush. Need someone to actually look at it from the far end and talk about the line.
Внимание. Воу. Поднять. Валить. Нет, нормально.
Last stone of the third end.
Воу.
It is Russia with a chance to score 3 right back on Finland.
Легко.
Молодец.
And they're very much in control all the way down. Not even a lick to it. And will make the nose hit, sit for 3. So Russia back in the lead at 4 shots to 3 after 3 ends of play.
Taas on hämmäri.
Да потому что она не терла нифига.
Otetaan 2 tai 3 tai jotain.
Ну все, значит.
Это, мне кажется, посильнее.
Мне тоже кажется выше.
Валить.
Пока не будем
Russia, after
трогать.
scoring 3, they will
Не надо ничего делать.
start this
Саш, надо
fourth end
подвалить.
Настя, он
Нет,
сам
нормальный
удохнет
свип,
фризом.
нормальный свип.
up by 1.
Фриз.
It's been
Тэп.
Свип, чуть-чуть,
A close
свип,
game so
свип,
far.
свип, 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 да-да-да-да-да-да-да-да-да-да-да-да.
Krushelnitsky will just bump the red zone back a wee bit. And it's Una Karlstad to follow.
Joo. Suunta on hyvä. Tuu mukaan.
Yeah, Russia
Kumpaa tarvii?
seems
Voimaako?
to favor coming all the way down to the back, to the stone back four.
Älä paina kovaa. Hei, hei, hei.
It means that
Hei.
it
Right.
could get a little crowded. It also means that you leave your opponent with a freeze right back. But it's worked
Я
out
тебе
really
стану
well for them.
немножко шире.
Una Karlstad with just a little too much weight with her drop. This one now sitting wide open and also slightly behind the tee line.
Линия поменьше. Что с весом?
Хороший вес.
Больше?
Хороший.
Легко?
Темп.
Легко?
Темп. Валить.
Нет. Ждем. Валить.
Больше
Валить.
темпа.
Бляха, знаю.
They're just sitting a bit high for line, and again, just keeping this shooter out in the open there. It's so easy for Finland to make a play on it.
Vähän kovempi.
Nousu! Ei, ei! Ei mitään.
Nousee lopussa.
Ei, nousu! Nousu! Kova!
Want to roll in towards the center
Yritä
line.
saada omaa jatkuu.
So trying to make that curl, but it will be on the nose. And Russia calling the freeze on the intern side. There is quite a wall to draw onto here.
Это сам, это мне кажется много.
Нет, немного!
Легко. Линия, да! Смотри,
Есть вес!
линию посмотри, поднять.
Ничего, совсем ничего.
Прунь. Хорош.
On kyllä just tasan piilossa.
Joo. Tullaan sit vaan siihen nokkaan ja työnnetään takakivi irti.
Joo. Mikäs tuut? Takavalkonen.
Takavalkoinen, takapunainen.
Finland were
Jos näyttää
pointing
siltä,
at
että tarvii nousuja, niin tuu harjaa.
tapping the shot stone back a little bit just to release the backing. Of course, they need some room if they're going to score more than one.
Takapuna! Miltä näyttää?
Vähän tarttis nousta. Kato linjaa.
Nousua, nousua, nousua!
And now Tommy calling line. Ona sweeping this for as much curl as possible.
Hyvä!
And they managed to get all the way to nose, release the backing a bit. It's a good shot.
Нормально, здесь все идет. Хорошие углы. Просто ролл делаем. И все.
Колодка или борт?
Борт. Тебя нет, мне не нравится борт. Если ты сделаешь шире, это будет очень плохо. Давай колодку.
Well, I believe Karlstad is a hack weight.
Тебя можешь
As
еще
you'll hear them
прижать.
use, we'll say board
Всё.
when they want board weight,
Закроешь сверху.
the English term. But they have a Russian term for
Короче,
hack weight,
решай.
where I think most teams will actually just say hack. I certainly don't have a Norwegian word for hack. Do you have a Swedish one?
Валить.
Hack.
Он очень плохо валит.
Ничего, не...
My point exactly.
Свип! Свип! Нормальный свип!
So they will move that back red back. No, that top red back, sorry. And gets a little roll too. Leaves her shooter in a good place.
Молодец.
Can be promoted later.
Kai se on vaan pakko tulla tohon ja toivoo, että ne ei sitä saa siitä. Mietin, että olisiko hyvä, että se tökkää tätä vähän kauemmas. Niin tulee tilaa sitten mahdollisesti toiselle pinnalle. Ehkä melkein sama kuin äsken. Vähän hiljaisempi vaan.
Joo. Mulla on ihan vähän isompi merkki kuin äsken.
Jaa.
So Finland have taken a little more ice. I think that they're going to bring the weight down just a little bit and try and come to the red one. Tap the back, tap the yellow back a little again, perhaps to sit two, but Russia still has that slash on the outturn. It's always a worrying thing in mixed doubles. Someone always has a slash somewhere when you want to play the good freeze.
Suunta.
Well, it's hard to protect yourself against everything.
Nousua! Kovaa! Kovaa!
Uh-oh.
And uh-oh, meaning
Vähän kovempi kuin
Russia
edellä.
can now get rid of both the reds if they wanted.
Maybe
Se ei ollut
set
hyvä.
4.
No, keskusta jää kuitenkin auki tulla se yspinna.
Я могу вообще тэп сделать.
Played a double here, that shot
Твой стоит
on
лучше,
Mike
и
jam
мне
on the back
никак.
yellow.
Не с этой стороны, никакой. У нас последний, да, все? Или не будем рисковать? Один отдадим.
Давай вот так.
Хочешь все-таки ролл?
Хочешь дабл?
Давай ролл. Ну он закрыт весь, Настя.
Давай дабл.
I heard the word double a
Да, давай
couple of
дабл. Мне
times.
тоже нравится.
Yeah, but they were only pointing
Напряжен.
at tapping in the shot stone back. This is when I wish that my Russian moved beyond the word kalotka.
Yeah. I think it's pretty hard to make that double out without jamming, but you will be sitting 3, so it's probably not such a bad thing, as you will see Krushelnitsky play quite some weight, so definitely the double they are going for. There we go, will jam, but again, as mentioned, it will lie 3. So Finland left with a draw here to score 1. Last stone of the 4th end for Una Karlstad. She's made some good one.
Onks luja?
This one's
Pitäisi
quite
saada
important.
osuma noihin.
Facing 3 Russian counters at the moment.
Jap, jap, jap!
Sweeping this onto the backing, perhaps. Oh, it's going to overcurl. It's going to slip off the yellow and slide through. How many? It is 1. It is 2. 2 for Russia. A big mistake from Mona Karlstad. Perhaps could have swept that onto the backing a bit earlier. But will overcurl, and with that, Russia taking a big leap towards the semi-final. Now up by 3. It's a 6 shots to 3 lead for Team Russia. We should be back with some highlights. But firstly, I'd like to look elsewhere in the arena to check the line scores. And I have to say, some interesting development between England and USA.
Yeah, after USA being 7 points up, not allowing England to score with the first 3 ends, England had an open house draw for 4 in the 4th end, so now only trailing by 3, 7-4 to the USA. It's 2-1 to Scotland playing Canada. They're still playing their 4th end. And 2 each between Estonia and China. Results from the 4th end still to come over there. In the first end, in the quarter-final between Finland and Russia, Ona Karlstad is to make a little nose tap to maybe score 1 or just cut Russia down to a single. As you see, she's made this as good as possible. Not quite enough to score, so a steal of 1 for Russia in the first end. In the second end, Ona Karlstad now with a better chance of scoring. It's quite nose tap for 3, and she needs to sit on top of the yellow. Coming up to sweep it to curl in the end. And she will get it all the way there. So Finland scores 3 in the second end. Then in the third end, Russia managed to set up really well, and Alexander Krushelnitsky has a nose hit for 3. They can just keep this clean. The red one goes, and Russia scores 3 right back to take a 4-3 lead. In the fourth end, it looked like it could have been a multiple score for Finland, but a really nice double by Krushelnitsky on his last has left Ona Karlstad with a draw to score 1. And maybe a little late on this line score, as this is a little heavy. And Bryskalova can sweep it out of the full forfeit, so it overcurls, and Russia steals 2, so they move ahead 6-3 after 4 ends.
back again. It's the 5th end of this quarterfinal between Finland and Russia. The 1,340-kilometer border separating these two countries. So you could call this a battle of two neighbors. Finland coming into this game might have been favorites, but it is Russia up by 3. And it's now Finland to use their power play to try and tie things up.
Yeah, and Bryskalova with an absolute perfect shot, actually, to prevent Finland from taking too much advantage of their power play. Of course, power play, that means the team with the last stone advantage has a corner guard and a shot stone in behind it. And Russia, of course, not allowed to hit. They've managed to tick that pre-placed corner guard into the rings and roll their shooter out. So red shot stone is now wide open, especially after Finland tried to replace the corner guard and actually over-curled.
Да. Помочь! Очень слабо.
So still not allowed the takeouts. Russia's trying now to freeze this red. With both sweepers on here, looks like it could be short. And that will not be enough to outcount the red, so opportunity for Finland. They're going to put the corner guard back. They have that option, or coming around the yellow to sit 2.
Hei.
Mä ymmärrän.
Näin päin.
Mä en tiedä, mistä pitää ottaa merkki.
Sieltä.
And 71% for Tomi Rantamäki.
Ei, wow!
Surely 70s and over are good mixed doubles numbers. We've seen some players in the mid-80s being ranked on top. I think coming out really wide, maybe thinking it was a little slower out there. Gave that a little extra weight and it will actually go straight through the ring. So it's a big thing for Russia, got out of trouble. They're now allowed to hit.
Can't see too much of that red stone, but I'd say enough to peel it out.
Давай через свой. 0. Да. Воу, мягкий. Воу. Свит! Свит! Свит, держать!
Well, actually going after the yellow run back, and will make it. Russia sitting 2. Tomi Rantamäki wanting to throw the same draw here. Should know the weight. Came up a little bit heavy on the first try. Perhaps the second attempt could be better.
Rauhallisempi. Voimava. Tilaan. Takavalko.
Suora.
Tee. Suora!
Voimava. Voimava. Voimava.
We'll just sneak past that top yellow stone.
Hyvä heitto.
But has it over curled and popped out in the open on the open side, perhaps?
Joo, mutta ihan pirun vaikea heittää, kun ei voi tietää
Not
yhtään,
by
mitä
much, I think.
Mä harjoittelin, käyn
I
toisen
think
osan.
it's a pretty good draw, and Russia's gonna play the run back.
I might have just overswept that one, as Krushelnitsky not able to catch that red stone. And all of a sudden Finland with a chance to score 2 here. Having lost that chance, but with the draw through by Rantamäki, he made a good one. Got a half miss from Russia, and right back in it with an opportunity to score a deuce.
You want to keep these stones fairly level.
Näyttää lujalta.
Takapuna!
Näyttää lujalta.
Do you think Russia's going to go for the double if there is one?
Valko! Kyllä tää hyytyy teille.
Ei, teille vaan.
Samalle tasolle.
Niin, se riittää teille. Ei.
And they've done a really, really good job. No double there. So Brishkalova can just remove the one. And there is going to be a shot for 2 for Finland.
Nyt on avoinpää.
So you see, Johanna Karlstad has a tournament accuracy of 76%. Those are really good numbers, especially coming through the entire tournament. Not really having any bad games, Finland. And 73% for Anastasia Brishkalova.
А почему так не сделать?
No on se тогда не дошел. Шел больше, и он тогда не въехал уже.
Suora!
Last one of the 5th end. After a beautiful draw by Rantamäki, Finland will have this chance to score 2. It is a nose hit from Oona Karlstad, and she will make it. So that's going to tighten up the scoreline a wee bit. Finland having trailed by 3 coming into the halftime, picking up 2 here. You'll see them only trail by 1, but Russia up 6 shots to 5, and we'll have last stone advantage as we come back for the 6th end of play.
Pakotetaan ne 7 yhteen, otetaan 8-2. Hyvä.
Oona Karlstad will start this 6th end for Finland. Did a good job picking up 2 in the 5th end, so this game is ever so close. Speaking of scores, anything else that might have happened in the arena, Sarah?
Things happen all the time in this arena. I can tell you that after that really bad end by USA, they're now back in great shape. Scored 3 right back after letting England have that score of 4, so they are up 10-4 after 5 ends. Certainly looking very good for them. And Scotland got a steal playing Canada in the 4th end, so they're up 3-1. Finally, China up 4-2 playing Estonia. So the Chinese team just moving ahead a little bit over there.
Why, thank you, Sarah. So pretty hard to tell who will go through, except maybe the USA-England game. Joe Polo and Tabitha Peterson looking very strong with 3 ends remaining there.
Nousua. Nousua. Nousua, nousua. Hei.
Ends up tapping that yellow, Tomi Rantamäki. Maybe not want to tap things too much and open up the scoring area for Russia.
No, I think opening up the scoring area is good when you have hammer.
Definitely less risk involved, and I think a bigger chance for Russia to at least score when things are more spread around and it's not all congested into that forefoot.
No, so I don't know how much Anastasia Brishkalova can see of the top red, but I think she can spread them around.
Держать!
They want to come close to the yellow, but they don't want to wreck on it. Looks like it's really good for line, this one.
Super.
And that's easy to understand. No dictionary needed for that one.
No, that was a really nice shot. It's maybe not necessary for Finland to tap this anymore. Just need to get some really good line and make it to nose.
Se on hyvä. Tila on. Ei suoraan ainakaan. Nousu. Nousu, nousu, nousu.
Hei, täällä Harjalla tuu.
Well, this one will bump something, I'm certain, Sarah. Well, he's not able to keep the shooter in a usable spot. The only good news for Finland is they've pushed pretty much everything in behind the tee, so if ever Russia comes up deep on a draw here, Finland, of course, could just put one on top. So it's, I'd say, quite crucial for Brishkalova to keep this one in front of the tee line.
Yes, I absolutely agree. It's looking great for Russia, the way things are setting up right now. So don't give Finland an out here. Keep this in front of the tee line.
Пёс весом.
Есть.
Легко. Свип. Вес надо.
Хороший вес будет.
Настя, 2 фута. Хороший вес, да.
And this one is not going to be deep. It'd be great for them to get a little rub off there to at least leave themselves the opportunity to run it down, but they are slightly overlapped. And there might be an out for Finland. Don't think they're drawing anymore. They're actually playing the roll in off their own.
Kasi vähän nousee.
Not so important to keep these stones on the wings. More important where you leave your shooter.
Oona, tuu Harjaa.
Teistä puol.
Suunta hyvä. Suora.
So actually removing one red stone here, trying to use it to their own purpose, come off it onto the red, spin actually up to catch the back of the 1 foot. Finland lying shot stone, and it's fairly buried. I'm not sure if Russia really has an easy shot to get to it. As the run back on the yellow there. I think that's a pretty good shot by Tomi Rantamäki.
I'd say it's a really good shot. It was looking so good for Russia just a couple of minutes ago.
Куда ты идешь, Саш?
Я слеповать иду. На 7 футов.
Если что, в гард ошибусь.
Да, если что, в гард ошибешься. Вес. Куда ты столько?
Оу! Валить!
Куда
Валить!
ты крутишь ты вот так?
Looking for a tap on this stone, top 8, but they've ended up with a bit of a missed line call here, catching the center guard. Not really moving it too far either. Definitely opening up that yellow stone they were trying to tap though, so that shot's still available for Russia.
Yeah, but it's not easy to tap it straight back. Sorry.
Yeah, it'd be tough to score 2 with it.
Yeah, and first I think Finland was looking at coming around on the other side, but then they would actually give Russia an angle to tap that yellow one back. And now just guarding this tap, I think.
Yeah, well, certainly by guarding, might be hard to see how Russia scores one, except a very difficult out-turn draw. So Una Karlstad to put up that guard. Sometimes a little tricky to play a guard a foot off the center line. Have seen some teams take more ice and getting more curl because of it. Catching some fresh pebble. This one seems to be just dying. Just enough to get over the hog line. I'm not really sure if it does a whole lot. Still a chance for Russia to play a tap on the yellow.
And they don't need to tap the yellow all the way back to the red. They can just tap it to the button, even though that's surely not easy.
Well, a straight tap to the 1 foot. That guard's not really in the way at all. That could have been a quite sure steal for Finland with a good guard, but will allow Krushelnitsky to make the in-turn tap to put a single up on the board, already leading by 1. Last stone of the 6th end on its way. Getting closer. Will make the tap and score 1. Really good shot by Krushelnitsky. Very nice indeed, and with that score of 1, Russia up 7 shots to 5 as we have 2 ends remaining.
Соберись, давай, все нормально. Мы кидаем?
88% for Alexander Krushelnitsky. Those are good numbers by any means. Had a solid game, made some really good shots, some key ones.
Yeah, really finding a great form when he needs to. Very important quarterfinals, of course. Making it to the semis will ensure some very important Olympic points.
Well, we've seen this happen in the game before. That first stone just ends up tapping the stone pre-positioned, and kind of keeping things a little more open doing that. I don't think that's necessarily on purpose, but just maybe throwing it a bit too heavy, as Una Karlstad's 54% will not be improved with this draw.
No, she's not quite been on target as we've seen her in the previous games in the group play. This is just a great opportunity for Russia to put a lot of pressure on early. When someone comes up short like that, you can play the draw, sit on top of your own or top forefoot. As Bryzgalova is 76%, so certainly both of them in good playoff form.
Добавь. 92. Личный вес. Личный вес, линию внимательно.
Свип! 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 Да, пройди! Швы, о!
Настя, ну чуть пораньше, ну.
A little bit heavy there, and had to sweep it for line as well. Ends up splitting the yellows. It's Bryzgalova just realizing that that was a bit of a mistake. Had a really good chance to put a good draw in there and put some pressure on Finland.
Yeah, now it's Finland with the opportunity to find cover behind those double guards. But Tommi Rantamäki not finding the line and weight here either. Yeah, it's that choice for Russia. You want to risk leaving those reds around and draw or put up a guard, or maybe hit and roll and try and get two shots in one. And we have a timeout call.
So their time clock will be stopped, and the coach will have some walking time to get to the ice. As soon as they make contact, they have 1 minute to discuss, and then the coach will have to go back to his seat. Here he is, Vasily Gudin. He's followed the Russian men's team for a number of years, been to many events, quite experienced, and hopefully he'll be able to help his team out here.
Кстати, тайм-аут у нас финны. Знаете об этом, нет? Обычно уходит просто отсюда.
Ну пусть поставит, послушает, что.
Тут бейте.
Бить с роллом?
Конечно, не надо камни как
Надо хороший ролл, если не
Да. Надо хороший ролл, да. Ну,
нравится, да?
нет, мне не нравится 4 фута, потому что... Ну,
Если они делают ролл или фриз, сверху забиваем,
вы,
да?
конечно, сверху ставите еще свой. Вам надо быть уверенным, что не накопит много камней.
1-3, да.
Потому что если сейчас вы немного здесь неправильно как-то сделаете, они начнут фрезоваться, и у них еще 2 камня. Через это будут бить потом. Выбирайте, конечно.
А ролл прям делать над нашим желтым или подмазывать что-то?
Можно подмазывать, да. Если вы получите
Даже
ролл,
можно чуть шире, да, ролл
ролл в
оставить?
центр, да, можно. Если они сюда будут фрезоваться, вы можете за ними потом. Ну, подмазать под гард, это
ролл.
вообще отлично.
Вот
Мне
такой?
такой нравится ролл.
Они повезут
Да.
сюда фриз.
Да пусть
Ничего
везут, ты вот так
страшного,
закроешь,
это
и
один.
все.
А почему
никогда
так
не
не
достанут
нравится, что
потом.
они так будут делать? Бить?
Да, они
бить.
так будут бить, и у
Он
них
тебе
может
сданет
быть
двойника с
открытый.
роллом, и все.
Надо, чтобы он был замазан.
Окей.
Не торопитесь, все хорошо. Молодцы.
там валит на 0.
Валит?
Да.
Смотрите, нужен хороший ролл, Настя.
Главное снять камень, а дальше...
Ну, хороший ролл тебе нужен. Главное снять камень, это мудня в центре. Нолик.
О,
Валить?
валить!
Seems to be playing a hit and roll off the
Вип, вип, вип!
red stone in the top 12. Maybe just oversweeping this one too. That's Brizgalova with a few missed line calls now.
Kyllä melkein pitää ottaa näin.
The last couple of ends.
Ja sit toivoo, että ne
Just
mukaan omansa.
a bit too panicky at times.
Millä voimalla sä tuut? Kömpipua.
Ei, se voisi olla joku ihan hatti.
Yeah, see if
Sehän
Tomi
ei haittaa,
Rantamäki
vaikka se
can
menee
keep
syvemmälläkin tonne.
his calm and make the roll.
Hakki!
Suora. Ei, ei! Nousu! Nousu!
Tuu harjaamaan! Vedä nousua! Kovaa! Kovaa!
I was hoping to curl a bit more there to get the roll. They will not. And
Ei täällä harjalla
that
saa
red
enää
stone for Finland is in the open.
Мгновенно, со своим.
Of course, meaning that the roll is available for
Знаю.
Russia.
Поехал, я кидаю, ты поехал.
Но он нам, значит, не мешает абсолютно. Тебе надо просто сейчас хороший ролл сыграть, и все.
А наружу не нравится ролл?
Что?
Наружу ролл.
Они повезут. Ну, нравится вообще, нравится.
Если я просто оставлю стеем и свой
Хорошо,
под
сделай
двойной.
+3. Наружу сделай ролл. Только свой не сними, тот, который там. Только не стей.
Они повезут.
Они повезут, мы захлопнем, все. -2 максимум.
So this time Hackwick
Тут же
from
валится.
Brizgalova.
Воу, воу!
Тут валится!
Вип! Вип!
Also chasing that roll towards the center line.
Хорош.
No, mut sit me lataan vaan noja tohon.
And
ja
she
ne
will
tulee
actually
perässä.
roll out instead. So
Itse asiassa jos me saadaan se tohon täysin kiinni.
now Finland to make the draw. They can put one right.
Joo. Puolivälin.
Where Tommy's broom was.
Puolivälin punainen.
Sorry, I had a little miscount. Of course, they're going to want to put this right where Tommy's broom was. And they might set up to steal.
Yeah, that's why I was a little bit surprised Brizgalova didn't go for that roll underneath. Has
Voima riittää.
really opened up the forfeit by rolling away.
Tää tarvii suoristusta. Kato takaa.
Lots of room to put a draw in there.
Suunta hyvä. Suoraan
Don't want to go too deep, I think.
Nousu! Nousu!
If they do, Finland will allow Russia to come after this draw with a freeze. And in the end have maybe overswept this one a wee bit, and the pin is very much open for Russia. To make a perfect freeze here, they might even steal a point. Just needed that to be a foot and a half higher up in the house.
Какой лучше привезут?
Ну, сейчас Пауэр тогда не сможет, здесь у нас будет как
Центр
+3.
lyhkäinen.
Ну ладно, хорошо,
Я не
давай.
знаю, что делать в
Давай,
этой
фриз,
ситуации. Хочешь,
фриз.
пробьем через
Фриз,
красный?
фриз.
Все. Внимание.
7 больше вес, намного
Отличный
больше.
вес, Настя. Просто легко.
The penultimate stone
Начинаем
of the
легко.
7th end
Нет,
underway. Russia
Поднять,
looking
валить.
to
Внимание,
freeze.
валить.
Finland
Нормальный
line
свип.
1.
Нормальный. Свип. Воу, воу, лев.
Sounds
Валить.
pretty close for
Валить.
line.
Да, и до конца. Да, да. Воу, воу.
And he's played a really nice shot here, Krushelnitsky. What is left for Finland, you might ask?
It's not going to be easy for
Ei me
Finland to
saada sitä
score.
muuten.
Joo,
Ei me saada edes ykköstä ilman.
Now looking at this run back, but it's really tight. That yellow
Ei
one
tule
is
rauhallisemmalle.
9.
it's a little more overlap than you would
Onko näinpä 9?
want it probably.
Joo.
Ei siellä ole väliä
näinpä ei
kumminpäin.
mahdu.
Tää?
Joo.
Well, I'd have to say it's probably there for one. I'm not quite sure if they can cross the face of it enough to stick it for two, though. It's a pretty tough shot just for the single, really. Una Karlstad.
Nousu!
Quite an important shot, already down by two, really needing to put a score up on the board. Pull back and forth on the sweeping. As I'm not even sure what happened there. Was it just that wide for line? Will not make the run back. And it's a steal of one for Russia, now up by 3. 1 end to go.
Через наши. И хороший надо мне сейчас привести.
And we'll see what happens. So things seemingly going Russia's way here. A 3-point lead coming into the 8th end. How big of a chance does Finland have here?
There is a chance. It's not really big.
Помогать!
For sure, we've seen scores of 3 many times
Сам линию, говорю,
in
смотрим.
mixed doubles, but maybe not in the last end, and maybe not playing a good hitting team like Russia.
Well, we did see USA lead England 7-0, but ended up giving up a 4. You never know. In the end, it was USA, though, beating England 12 shots to 6. That game is over. But what about the other ones, Sarah? It seems like it's just pinballing through, scores up and down, left and right. And it's pretty tough to name a winner out there.
Yeah, it really is. It's a tight game between Scotland and Canada at 5 each. But Canada was the team to score in the 7th end, so Scotland has hammer in the 8th, which of course is a slight advantage. And Estonia really catching up to China. They scored 3 in the 6th end, then gave up a 1. So China up 7-5 without hammer on that sheet.
And neither of those ends in power play. It's just the classic mixed doubles end.
Ошибка, гард. Разводим гарда,
And
там
the
2
same
стоят.
on our sheet.
Ну вообще фриз давай, откуда ты везешь-то, Настя?
Стой.
Отсюда, с этой стороны везем. Ой, это все очень много.
Много.
Да. Свой, смотри, стейп.
Нет, ничего.
This one coming up a little heavy from Brizgalova. And Krushelnitsky looking a little upset and a little bit worried. We'll take a look at the time clocks. Both teams with about 2 minutes and 50 seconds left. That should be good enough. It's just a little more than the average for an end, as you have 22 minutes of thinking time.
Yeah, and this end should be pretty straightforward, at least for Russia. They will be allowed to hit with their next one. So I wouldn't mind seeing them take the guard off, perhaps.
Russia have used their timeout. Finland have not, but they don't have a coach, so they are not allowed to use their timeout. And that's a nice draw by Tomi Rantamäki. So important to keep those draws top of the four, front of the tee line. Especially now as they're hunting a score of 3 to tie the game up.
Понимаешь? Либо разводим гард. Никак не шире, никуда.
Только со щеткой встань, не надо тереть мне.
So I'm guessing here, but I think what Russia just said was try and come down to the red ones, tap them back. And of course the tolerance is to tick the center guard.
Очень много, да?
Нет, тэп.
Настя, это не тэп. Валить. Вау. Свой степ.
So this hanging a little wide, how much will it curl? And that wasn't really the tolerance, just wanted to move the reds. And if you're ever not going to do that, then move the center guard.
I think some of the nerves showing for Brizgalova here, knowing that coming up short is a big mistake, leaving a guard for Finland, but then maybe overcorrecting, throwing it a bit too heavy, and that's not really helping either. Leaving Finland with control of the top of the house, top four here. You might just see Finland put another stone frozen on the red and leave that yellow stone on the side of the forefoot as it's still in the open, still accessible for Finland. They might take care of that later. I can also tell you that the tied game between Scotland and Canada, there's only one stone in play there. It's Canada with a stone just half in the back of the forefoot, and Karlstad is throwing a guard. They have 2 stones remaining, and it looks very much like Scotland will have a shot to win the game. It's a little more complicated on sheet A between Estonia and China. Estonia having some stones in play as they're needing 2 for the extra. And we're getting our first real mistake from Finland in this end. Coming up heavy, that's not really helping them. But still lying 2. So important to keep that on top of the red, just spills to the back. Beyond the point of no return, really, for that red stone.
Если они тут что-то разобьют, нам потом все.
А что ты предлагаешь?
Я не знаю, что делать.
And it's kind of too late for Russia to
peel
now. So freeze tap is the call. Sit on top of the red one.
Мне кажется, это еще сильнее. Легко? Свип.
Точно?
О, это больше, да? Свип.
Тэп.
Свип. Да!
Well, it's certainly easy to to separate the colors here. All the yellows on the right-hand side, all the reds on the left.
Yeah,
Mikä voima?
this is going to be a really interesting end.
Kymppi
I
puoli.
thought it was going to be wide open, but actually I think all stones in play so far.
Completely different story for Scotland, Canada, as Canada's down to their last stone. Still have that shot stone back at the 4. That's the only stone in play, as they've just taken a timeout, having discussed the options with Jeff Stoughton. They're going to throw some type of shot, and Scotland will have a shot for the win.
Suora. Suora.
As
Ei, nousu.
Finland can set themselves up and maybe also get a shot
Nousu.
to win the game. Getting a roll in there, very nice.
Oh,
Look
wow.
at all those reds.
And this is now looking really scary for Team Russia.
Единственный вариант.
Otetaan aikalisä, niin sulle jää minuutti 40 aikaa.
Joo.
Везем.
Фриз туда?
Фриз.
Well, they'll make a call quite quickly here, throwing the freeze.
Yeah, there's not much else they can do.
Well, we saw a few mistakes from Brizgalova in this end, maybe
О,
showing
поднять.
some
Валить.
signs of
Валить.
nerves.
Сашка,
We'll
руки
see if
вверх.
Krushelnitsky can keep his calm here and make a good one.
Внимание.
Of course, also Brizgalova very much involved on the sweep, having to call the weight to get it there. Where will it stop? Just side by everything. And what has it left? Surely a shot for 3, but I don't think Finland has a shot for 4, as I just have to mention that Gina Aiken's shot for the win for Scotland coming down the ice. It's a nose hit. It will hit the yellow, make the double, sit for shot stone. Scotland is through to the semi-final, beating undefeated Canada.
Yeah, what a day for Scotland, coming through the tiebreakers yesterday, beating reigning world champions, and then Canada to move on to the semis.
Well, they had a bit of a rough start. They were also placed in a bit of a tough group. Was able to scrape through on a tiebreaker, and now has really caught some wind.
Yep, and also coming down to this shot for Ona Karlstad. I don't think there's a shot for 4 there, but definitely for
Tää on takapunaisen
3.
merkki.
It's an outturn, old tap on the yellow to score 3, tied the game up for an extra end. Ona Karlstad,
Nousu.
will
Kova.
she have nerves of steel here? Maybe a little heavy, maybe a little wide, sweeping it for curl. I'm not sure if it's going to get there. I don't think so. Can she carve it in? No way, it's not even going to make contact with the yellow. Russia will grab the win, having a 3-point lead into that 8th end. Almost looked like it was slipping away, but Ona Karlstad just not able to keep calm, keep herself collected, and make that shot to push the game into the extra end. And it will be an 8 shots to 7 win, as you'll see the rest of the staff, the doctor, coming down to celebrate with the Russian team. That means we only have 1 quarter-final remaining, having seen USA dominate England's 12 shots to 6. Scotland with a last stone win over Canada.
So only the one game remaining. And only a few stones to come in the game between Estonia and China. China up 7-5 on that sheet. But other than that, we've seen Scotland, USA and Russia move on to the semi-finals. In the first end of the quarter final between Finland and Russia, it was on Karlstad to make a little nose tap to maybe score one or just cut Russia down to a single. She makes it, as you will see here, but it won't be good enough to score, so Russia steals one in the first end. In the second end, it's now a much better chance for Finland to score. They have a quiet nose tap for 3. Ona Karlstad needs her shot stone to sit on top of the yellow to do so. And it's a great shot, so Finland scores 3 in the second end. And in the third end, it's now Russia that has a nose hit to score 3 right back. Alexander Krushelnitsky has a really good throw, just keeping this clean. It will bang the red one on the nose, and Russia scores 3 right back. And in the fourth end, it looked like it could be a multiple score for Finland, but it was a really nice double by Krushelnitsky. And that has left Finland with a draw to full forfeit to score the 1. And a little late on the line score, on the line call. She will overcurl, and that leaves Russia with a steal of 2. In the fifth end, after using their power play, Finland managed to split the rings and ended up with a nose hit to score 2. They will make it and tighten up the line score 6-5. Then in the sixth end of the quarterfinal between Russia and Finland, it's a straight tap to the 1 foot for Alexander Krushelnitsky to score 1. It's not easy because these yellows are a little overlapped, but he will make it absolutely perfect. Russia scores 1 to take a 2-point lead after 6. And in the seventh end, it was a great freeze by Russia with their last. And Ona Karlstad trying a really difficult run back, but she will not curl enough. And again, it's a steal of 1 for Russia, and they're now up 3 with just a 1 end to go. And finally, in the 8th end, after seeing every single shot stone in play, Ona Karlstad has a tap to force the extra end, but was not able to throw it good enough. This will go right by, and Finland only get the score of 2. Russia will win the game. They will move on to the semi-finals tomorrow. And I think we're also going to see the last stones of the game between Estonia and China.
Well, just to confirm, it was, as you said, Russia moving on. USA moves on, beating England, and Scotland beating Canada. As this is the last stone for Estonia. Maria Thurman having to play a triple to score 2 and push the game into an extra. That's not going to happen. And China will beat Estonia and be through alongside Scotland, USA, and of course Russia. That won our future game. We'll have more curling action tomorrow. We'll have the semi-finals at 12 o'clock local time here in Karlstad, Sweden. Please join us again.